Hi everybody, Alex here from Expert Forex, and in today's video we're going to have a look at MetaTrader templates and profile. And as the picture says, you can see most traders use profiles and templates, and you should too. So a few weeks ago I started a series, and this is a Forex Trading 101, where I basically took MetaTrader and started showing traders some tricks, and I gave them ideas on how to use MetaTrader to its fullest extent. And in this particular video I took the standard MetaTrader chart and I converted it into a more tradable chart. And if you want to have a look at that, please go and have a look at that particular video. Here is the link, and a clickable link will be in the description of the video as well as in the commentary of the video. So this video is a follow-on this particular one, where I'm going to go into templates and profiles in a lot more detail. So in this video I'm going to be covering using MetaTrader help, because a lot of traders don't actually know how handy the MetaTrader help facility is. It really does answer any questions that you might have. Then we're going to have a look at how to create a template, and I'll do that as a practical example. Then we're going to look at how to create a profile, and again I'm going to do that as a practical example. And then we're going to have a look at my live trading charts, how templates are being applied and profiles being applied. So beginner and even advanced traders could find this quite interesting, because I'm going to actually even cover how to use templates and profiles when you are using trading robots. That can save you a considerable amount of time. So let's get straight into it. Let's go to MetaTrader. Okay, and here we are on MetaTrader. This is just an example of a chart that I sometimes use with a zigzag indicator on it. And what we're going to do is we're going to look, firstly I want to show you some interesting facilities in the MetaTrader platform, and that is the help facility. So if you click on help, it opens a whole lot of stuff there, but what you really want to do is you want to go to the help topic. So you click on the first item there, and it brings up a whole lot of topics. So what we want to look at today are templates and profiles. So I'm actually going to type in there, and already in there is profiles, because I had a look at this before making the video. There I've typed in profiles, and then all you do is you search for the profiles, and then you get a whole lot of topics that you can look at regarding profiles. And what we I think the first one is most probably the most interesting there, so we click on that, and what we get is a definition of templates and a definition of profiles, and that is where you can actually find information about anything. If you want to, for instance, find information about the RSI indicator, you just type in RSI and it will tell you what it does, and it'll even tell you how to use the RSI indicator. So there's a built-in trading course in the MetaTrader platform that very few traders use. Okay, so basically it says a template is a set of chart parameters that can be applied to other charts. So a template, you can save a whole lot of parameters and then apply them to other charts. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And then profiles offer a convenient way of working with groups of charts. So you can put a whole lot of groups on a profile, save the profile, and you can work with those group charts. Now, when I get to the examples, they'll start making perfect sense. So that is how you use the user guide, and that's the way I like using it. I like using the search facility. There's also an index. There's the contents. If you open it up, there's a whole lot of information that you can get straight away about testing indicators and robots and so on. Absolute fantastic. It's like a course, as I said. All right, so let's move on to the topic of today. Close that, and what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to create a template. So a template, and I'm just going to open a brand new chart. So we go into chart, that icon over there. I'm going to open the USD yen, and there we have it. This is the standard format that MetaTrader supplies its charts in. Now, I don't particularly like this format at all, so I'm going to actually change it to be the format that I want it to be. I don't like the black. I don't like the way the prices are displayed. All that, even the grid is a bit too harsh. So the way to do that is you right click, and you go to chart properties. So you click on the chart properties, and I'm just going to start changing. I want a white background this time. I want the foreground must be black, so in other words, the numbers on the sides must be black. I want up bars to be blue, and down bars to be red. So already it's starting to, and then candles, I also want that one to be blue and that one to be red. Okay, so blue, sorry, I've got it went out of sequence there, blue, and there are the red ones. Okay, so I'm not worried about line graphs, but we can make them dark blue if you want, and volumes I'm not interested in, and those levels I'm not interested in. So let's just go and see what that has done. All right, so it's done that. I'm going to format the charts to candles, and I'm going to increase the size. So it's starting to look a little bit more to the level that I want it to be. But now the grid is still a little bit harsh, so I go back into and also the candles, I like the wicks to be black. So in other words, what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to change that to black, bar up and bar down in black, but the candle will be blue, and so that changes. And as you make the changes, you can actually see the effect of your changes. So there they are. And then the grid, that gray is a little bit too harsh. I'm going to go for a lavender, softer. Now you can see how hard that was and how soft that is. And let's just click on that. Okay, so now we have a candle chart that is a lot more to my liking. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a few indicators, and I have a few favorite indicators, and I'll show you why. The first indicator that I like is a moving average. So I click on the moving average, and my moving average is a very special one. It is a 4 offset by 4, so period of 4 and shifted by 4. I like the simple one, and it's based on closed, and there it is, crimson is fine, and it's slightly highlighted like that. So I'm going to put that I like that moving average, and I'm going to explain to you why I like it. I'm going to put that on the chart. So why I like this one is it captures trends beautifully. So in other words, there's an uptrend, downtrend, uptrend over there, uptrend over there, uptrend over there. I mean, here it's caught the most beautiful downtrend. So it's a very good indicator for trends. And in fact, if you look at the moving average, it's classified as a trend indicator. When the market is going sideways, it is no good. You can see there, it's actually no good when it goes sideways, but it's a fantastic trend indicator. So I like that particular one. Then the next indicator that I like is the RSI. So the moving average is a trend indicator. The RSI is an oscillator. It is best in a sideways market. So I like the RSI, which stands for Relative Strength Index, and I'm going to put that one in. And again, I like a 4 based on the close, and there we are. And levels, I like the 50, but I also like adding a 80 level, and I like adding a 20 level, because those are the overbought and oversold levels. I also like changing the colors to red, and that should be okay. Let's see what that looks like. All right, so that looks quite nice. I don't like the red line, so maybe I'll change that quickly. And let's have a look. Oh no, I don't want that red. I'll just go with a dark blue or something like that. Dark midnight blue, that's fine. And let's have a look at that. Oh, yeah, that's looking a little bit better. In fact, I could make it a little bit bolder. Let's see. Oops, not that one. So I'm clicking on the indicator and then into the properties, and let's make it a little bit harsher, and that's it. Now there's various reasons why I like the RSI, but that's not the purpose of this particular video. But there are all kinds of things that it shows. One of the things that it shows divergences quite well. A divergence when the indicator is showing that kind of trend and the chart is showing that trend, and then that is a warning that there might be a change of trend. And there was that was in fact a beautiful breakout signal. So what I use is I use the RSI to point me in the right direction, and then I use the moving average to keep me in the trade. Very simple. I've always used very simple indicators. I don't believe in very complicated ones, and this method has helped me a lot. Okay, so that's more or less what I like my chart to look like. I like the price to be a little bit away from the one side, so I will do that kind of thing. I'll click on that one, and it creates an edge there. And I also like to see the volatility of the actual instrument that I'm using. And the reason why I like that is I want to see it compared to other instruments. So to get the volatility of a currency, I like using the average true range. Shows that is the range that the currency is trading through for the particular time frame that we're looking at. So if I was on the 1 hour chart that I am at the moment, it'll tell you the average, the number of pips that the currency trades in an hour. So that's the one I like, but I'm only interested in the average. So what I do, I've got a custom indicator called the ATR monitor, and what I do is I'm going to just put that on the screen. I'm going to put the ATR down to maybe a period of 7, and the font size of 18 is okay. So what it's going to tell me, I'm going to click on this. What it's telling me is that the average candle for the yen is 41 pips. Now, when I start comparing that with other currencies, then it'll start making more sense. But now what I've done here is I've created a template of a trading chart that I would like to use. This is the 1 hour, doesn't matter which time frame is, but this is the template that I want to use. So what I do now is I right click, and there is the template facility, and I save the template. So I'm going to just save this, and I'm going to save it as RSI RSI example. Okay, so there's the RSI example. I'm going to save that. Now now I have created a template. Now the beauty of that, what it does, it saves you considerable time. So let's say we want to now load the pound on here, and that's how the pound arrives when we open a new chart. So all we now do is we go template, and we'll go for the RSI example. That's the one that I've just saved. And there's the pound template for exactly as I've set it up. And that one says 23 there. So you can see the yen is currently much more volatile than the pound. It's not always the case, and then here you can see the moving average still catching trends and not doing well in sideways markets, and so on. And so there, that is how one would use templates. And I have, if you look at this list here, I have a whole lot of templates, and I'll show you the templates as we go along. But any chart that I need to set up, I will set it up as I wanted and then save the template, and that prevents me from having to repeat the setup ever again. So hopefully you've got an idea how templates work. Now let's say we want to do, and let's go back to the yen, and I've got a whole lot on this particular profile. This is firstly the profile's name is always shown down here, and invariably when you're working for the first time on a MetaTrader platform, you will be working on the default profile. And in fact, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to firstly change this profile, this default one, and say I want that example template. All right, so now I've got the example template over here, and let's say my strategy is to look at various time frames before I make a trading decision. So let's have a look. Let's say you want to look at 4 time frames before you do make a trading decision. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open 4 charts of the yen, 2, 3. Okay, so now I've got 4 charts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just sort them. So I'll go Windows, and I'm just going to sort them like that. And now it's very easy. All I do is I put the template on there. Example, template, example, template, example. So now I have 4 charts on the screen, and they're identical. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this the daily chart. So I go to that, activate it, you click on it, and then it goes a dark color, and you know that that's the activated one, and you say daily. Then you go over here and you say, all right, I want that one to be the 4 hour. Then that is the hour. Then I want maybe that one to be the 15-minute. Now this is typically what I like looking at. I like looking at what phase is the yen on the 4 hour, what phase is it on the daily, what phase is it on the 15-minute short term, and what phase is it on the hourly. So I can start getting a feel of how the market is aligning. And you can also see that these volatility numbers are high for the long-term charts and low for the low time frame charts. Okay, so now I have set up this profile. This is the profile that I want to use when I trade the yen, and this is the trick now. So at the moment it's called default. So what you do is you go to, it's the second icon there is the profile one. You could also go to files and then profiles, and then you can also access the profile. And now you can see I've got hundreds of profiles now, and we're going to go through those profiles later on. But let's say we want to save this profile as something. So we go in there, we say save profile, and I'm going to call this profile RSI yen. Okay, so that's, or USD yen, let's not confuse things, USD yen. So this is the RSI USD yen 4 time frame profile. So it's very descriptive. So I then say okay. Now what happens now is that what used to be the default has now become the profile that I have changed it to. So now if I want to go and have, and I'm going to start looking at my own ones, and let's say I want to go and look at another profile. Just remember this one, RSI USD. Let's say I want to go and look at another profile, and so we're in this profile like that. Let's say I want to go to another profile, and I'm just, for argument's sake, going to go to my 360 degree profile. It looks, it has the 360 degree market EA on it, and it gives me all the readings for various indicators and currency strength and all kinds of things. So I've actually set up a profile for the 360-degree market view, and it's called the 360. But now let's say we want to go back to the one that we've created. So what we'll then do is and I've got 100, so that's why it's taking a while. There's the one we've just created. You just click on that, and there is the one that I've just created. And that is how you can flip from profile to profile, and it remembers your chart collection. Your templates are on there already. That's not an issue. So this is how you can save considerable time by saving all your work either as templates or profiles. Now I'll show you how I use my templates and profiles as we have reached the point now that I think you know that templates and profiles can be created and can be used. And I'm just going to then show you a few examples of my particular usage. So for instance, and I'm not going to go through them all, for instance, one of my favorite ones is the 4-hour RSI overview, which is basically on this template, but I'm looking at about 16 currencies. So I'm going to go into that one. And now we're looking at 16 currencies. They all have more or less the same template that I have set up earlier, except that I've decided to color some of those charts to make them look different. For instance, the purple are all the yen crosses and so on. So how you do that is you go into properties, and there you just change the background to the color that you want. Okay, so that is my profile that I like looking. I can see the complete market straight away, and I can see, oh, the Aussie's going up, the pound's going up, the euro's going up, and the New Zealand, and then the yen is going down, the CAD's going down, and so on. And then the yen crosses are all going down. So you can immediately, and you can see, look how similar the charts are for the yen crosses. And then I've got some random charts here, and I can look at them and read them quite. Now look at this chart, for instance. Look at the size of the wicks of that chart compared to maybe another chart that hasn't got such violent wicks. So immediately we know that this is a very volatile currency compared to that one, which hardly has the wicks that one has. So you can see a whole lot of things together. Interesting enough, I don't have my volatility indicator on this particular set. All right, so that's how I use profiles and templates. Now I'm going to show you a few more. Here's what here is a profile of what I call multiple moving averages. I'm just going to see if this one actually. Yes, so these are multiple moving averages. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moving averages on each chart. And why I like these ones is they can show me immediately the phase that the market's in. So this one's trending upwards. All the moving averages are pointing up. So that kind of thing. This one's consolidating. Can you see it's consolidating? This one's trended, but now it's starting to turn back. That one's turning back. So I can see the phase of the market. So what I've done is I've set up a template that does this, and then I've set up a profile that has the moving averages for the 4-hour for my 16 favorite currencies. Okay, so let's have a look at some other interesting ones that I might have. Then I've got the multiple time frame ones, and let's just go and maybe look at the Oz multiple time frame ones. It's very similar to what I've shown you before. I'll just tile the windows there. So here I've got the weekly, daily, 4-hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes, and then those are extra. I'm not quite sure. That's normally my normal setup is something like that. And then I have the 360 degrees, so I want to compare the Oz to all the others using that particular one. But that's more or less how I have my multiple time frame ones: weekly, daily, 4-hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes, and I can see that. The other ones that are pretty handy are the let's go and have a look at those. You can see I've got them all set up. What's also quite interesting is the relative strength charts, and I'm going to look at the Aussie, and those ones, I think one of them's been messed up, but let's, okay, so here are all the crosses that include the Aussie. So it's Aussie USD, Aussie New Zealand, Aussie franc, Aussie, and pound Aussie, euro Aussie, Aussie CAD, and Aussie yen. So I can immediately see all the currencies that are traded. The Aussie, this one's slightly out now, so I'm going to just put it back to what it should be. See how easy it is. You put it back and you say RSI, and then it's in line with the other charts. And here you can see, look how some of them are very similar, and that helps a lot when you're trading manually to see similar charts. And then some of them are going down very similarly. So that's how you can see the relative strength of a currency against its trading partners. Let's see if there's any other profiles that might be interesting. No, I think that's about it. Relative strength. All right, so that gives you an idea how I use templates and profiles to trade an amazing amount of profiles. I mean, look at how long this list is, and it just carries on forever. So you can create as many profiles as you like. Also, I trade. I have templates. The templates and a whole list there, not as long as the profiles, but a whole lot of templates that I can then very quickly create a chart in the format that I want it to be. And I hope you found this video interesting, and I've given you some ideas on how to use profiles and templates. The other thing is, not only can you add indicators and things like that, but you can also add EAs. So for instance, let's see if I can find a nice easy one. Most probably not. I'm just gonna load the let's load the profit retrieval over there. This time I need to click on tools and allow that, and I'll just say yes. And there's the profit retriever added on there. So now I can create a template, for instance, save template, and I'll call it profit retriever. And then I don't need to load the profit retriever EA onto every chart, because I can now go over here and just load the template called the profit retriever. And there we are. So that's a nice way of using templates too for robots. Just one warning: when you are using robots on profiles, the robot will only work if the profile is active. In other words, you can't put the robot on this profile and then change the profile. It will stop the robot from working. So if you want to load a whole lot of robots in one, that's what I suggest you do. You create a template and then just copy the template over and over, and the robot will work. Okay, I just remembered that as a last item. So again, from me, Alex Ploy, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've learned a lot from this video. And also, if you do have any questions or comments, please please ask them in the YouTube comments facility, and I'll do my best to answer them. So from me, Alex Ploy, cheerio.